I went on a date before when I was with somebody, almost like a revenge thing. I was very upset with them, something they had done. And I was just like, I'm over it. I'm done. In my mind, I was done. But funny enough, I couldn't tell the person I was done because I couldn't get in touch with them.
Okay.
So I said, I'm done. I was like, I don't care if he knows we're done. I tried to call this person. I'm done. So I went out that night with a friend. And while we were out, somebody like asked for phone numbers, whatever. And I exchanged phone numbers and I went on like one date with that person. Mm-hmm. Didn't do anything. But then like just was like, whatever. I went back about my life. But then that person, the person I was dating found out, the person I was with found out that I went on a date and was like super upset. And I mean, I get it, but I was just like, dude, I couldn't even get in contact with you for like 2 days and no idea where you were.
Right.
How do you think I felt? Besides that, I wouldn't say I've ever cheated. Like, I would leave a relationship before going to cheat on. So I just don't get why people don't just leave the relationship. Like, if you're that miserable that you're like, oh, that person over there, I would just leave. But the problem is want my cake and eat it too. The people who like don't want to break up the relationship they're in, but they still want to go out and, try other things. It's like, you can't have it all.
So I want to tell you why I don't cheat on you. Well, there's a couple of reasons, but there's something deeper here that I applied to myself when I make any changes in life. When I got sober, I'm sober 8 years from drugs, alcohol, all kinds of stuff. So I'm living a great life now. Why I don't cheat on you, there's one simple reason. I
don't think I want to hear the one simple reason. I'd rather there be a million reasons.
The deeper meaning is that I love you and I'm happy. Like, and I'm physically attracted to you. Like, there's no reason to cheat. But there's not an ebbing. Let me put it this way. Also, there's not an ebbing desire for me to cheat. You're
not fighting back demons of cheating.
No, there's nothing that's like, oh, I'm trying to cheat, but like, let me put my back in my pants. Like, there's nothing making me. Let me mention when I got sober. I think you'll figure this out. Mm-hmm. The reason I didn't drink is because, like, I had so many drunks. I had DUIs. When I decided to get sober, after a couple weeks of being sober, I did want to drink. But what I did is I remember I was in the park in New York and I sat there and I was just like really in my head. I'm like, why do you want to drink? Like you know what the outcome's going to be. Like, you're going to enjoy it for that moment. But then afterwards, you're going to have shame and guilt because you've done it again. You're going to be hungover. You're going to spend money. All these different things of why you do get sober in the first place. You're going to be miserable afterwards. So I thought in my mind, I'm like, well, why don't you just think you're drinking in your head and have the experience in your mind, and then you're essentially you have drank. And then
that is some mind bending.
Okay, so let me apply it to the cheating situation. We'll talk about it because it's kind of hard. It's deeper for me because it's kind of hard to explain because it's something in my mind. But it's like this. And then what? Okay, you go out and you drink and you get drunk, and then what? Mm-hmm. Well, then you're broke and you're shameful and you're feeling guilty and you're hungover and you're miserable and you feel like crap because you're an adult.
And you might have done something that you regret.
And then what? Mm-hmm. So if I were to cheat on you, and let's say what cheating is, it's like, okay, you have a desire and it's just like you have like this enthusiasm for a certain moment, and then like you have sex, and then what? And then like essentially you're laying beside somebody or whatever you don't love, and you want to go back to your life that you have, and you want to leave this one because that's all it was. It was a climax. It was that. And then what? Then you potentially go back to your family and they find out and you lose that. You lose your family, you lose your house, you lose potentially, your job if you're working together. And then what? So what I've always done in my mind, if there's something that I know is not a good thought or like contrarian to what I actually feel or want to be, and then what? So what I'm saying in a relationship, if you ever want to cheat, if you just play it in your mind, okay, I'm going to make this up. Okay, so you meet someone, you get a number, and like you text back and forth, and that's exciting, and like that's exciting, and like you never felt that way, and then like, okay, we shouldn't do this, but we should, but whatever. Okay, I'll meet you, and then you meet, and then like whatever, and you have sex, whatever, and then what? Once intellectually you can go through that entire scenario, for me, it takes away anything that could ever add to your life. And then you're able to sit in your current life and say, you know what, my current life is already exciting. It's already, if I want it to be, it's already all those things. It's up to me for my life to be that. I think enough people don't, and then what, their lives. That's why, or they're not smart enough to, or they're not emotionally intelligent.
Well, I think there's also a piece of like morality involved there too. And I say that because I truly think people with high moral compasses or high moral standards are not cheaters. You just can't be, because your morals or your thoughts about life and hurting people just wouldn't allow you to do it.
Right.
So I definitely think that having a high standard of morality will, even if you got to the point where somebody got your phone number or you got a phone number, like you would be like, wait a second, like, whoa.
Well, yeah, no, and at some point, if it gets to that point, and sometimes it almost has, like you just like, okay, photography a long time ago, you know, you're photographing women, and at some point you're like, okay, you just have to like abandon this because it walks you into what we talked about earlier, coming into that territory that you shouldn't be in. But I agree with you. Like, my moral compass is like, I have a beautiful wife and she's the mother of the kids that I love. And like, what example would I ever set for them to find out that, you know, the dad was cheating on the mom, which they love and adore, and the dad that they love and adore. That's just, you know, my morality is in play as well. My sensibility is, and then what? Because no matter, look at all the great people in this world, you know, a lot of them cheated, like a lot of great men cheated because they could not. But if you can say, and then what? I think in your mind you'll say, okay, like with sobriety again. Okay, let's say I go out and I get my favorite, you know, alcohol and I mix it together and it's just like it's that I can't wait for that first taste and I have it and then it's like I get more sociable. I'm more gregarious now. And then what? At some point I've passed out and that's what it is. And I'm living the rest of my life and that blip is gone. And then what? If you can look at the and then what part, then you're like, you know what? I don't need to do that. Don't need to do that.
Yeah, so I've been that girl who somebody like opened the door. I wasn't interested. I was single. I was like, I don't want to date right now. But they keep creeping in, you know, they're hanging out and they want to do this and let's do that. Oh, let me just say whatever. Next thing you know, you're like, why am I still talking to this person when I wasn't interested in the situation? Before
I got sober, I lived a whole life of like, how can I drink and sleep with as many women as possible? And if some of those women were like, I'm in a relationship, it's like, I did not care. I did not care.
Men will be like that.
Maybe you'll be in a relationship with me soon. Like, you're in a relationship with that guy for now, but like you weren't before him. So like that was my mindset. And so it's not good. It's not healthy because you're thinking with your ego. You don't care about the other person. But once again, if you can get into the mindset of if that happens, then what? Then you really can shut off a lot of things that require a lack of discipline. If you have discipline in life, you can do that. Yeah. And discipline can achieve everything in life. You know, I've never cheated on you. And I have to be very honest, I never thought I could be in a relationship with someone I didn't cheat on. For so many years of my life, I'm just like, I don't want to, and I had the opposite problems. Like, I was never in a relationship because I thought I would just cheat. So I was like, I was a good enough person to not be in a committed relationship because I knew I just wanted to drink and just, you know, sleep with as many women as possible. I was wild. I was a wild person. I thought, man, there's no way I'm never not going to cheat on somebody. And then, like, I'm at this point now in life where not only that, but I'm like the complete opposite. Like, I just have no desires to have attention from anyone.
You're welcome.
Or for anyone to, I mean, also, it's like I'm with someone who's beautiful. And,
I give you attention.
No, you give me attention. But I'm saying outside of here, I don't have desires of somebody else giving me attention or someone else, like, feeding my self-esteem or whatever. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm healthy. And I think people have to be healthy on their own for them to get to that point. If you're not healthy as an individual, someone else can jump in and try to help make you ostensibly healthier.
Or fill what you think you need.
But really, they want something from you. So yeah, wow. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This has been a fun conversation on health. I guess
let's never talk about it again.
Healthy relationships and
let's never talk about this again.
No, but it's fun to talk about. We're not talking about something we've done.
I know. I'm just.
But we're talking about unhealthy relationships, how they get there, cheating, healthy relationships, and kind of what we do to not do other things. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe wherever you listen or watch. Thanks, guys.